Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the With Love show. I am your host, of course, KristyLove, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in to this new season. This is one of my special seasons where I am created a new and very bright space, as you guys can see. For my show, I believe that investing in yourself is one of the key things to help you with your growth and your personal development in business. So since we're speaking on personal development, today I have my sunshine. I have Lamaria Grace here, who is an empowerment coach. She's also, empowerment coach, life coach. A lot of people like to know what's the difference. But today we are going to dig into that and talk about the importance behind hiring a coach. So Lamaria, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? Let them know who you are and what you do.
Hey, I am Lamaria Grace. I am a life empowerment, recovery, mindset, intellect, emotional intelligence coach. I also call myself a creative coach because I mainly work with entrepreneurs and creatives. So.
Okay. All right. So let's dig into this. So with me being a mindset coach, you being a mindset coach, and focusing on other areas as well, a lot of people do not know what a mindset coach is. So why don't you give your spiel on what you think a mindset coach is and how it serves, or how we serve, I guess I would say, in the Black community?
Specifically for the Black community, it's a deprogramming. So we're taught certain ways to maneuver, certain ways to move, certain ways to live, certain ways to think, a culture of programming.
Yes.
Mindset coaching, from what I've experienced, what my clients necessarily need is more so the deprogramming of self-doubt and the deprogramming of not having self-love and not believing in yourself and not having that support system inside of yourself, and actually programming that to be something that's your secondary thought process.
So with some of the clients that you work with, because it is challenging, learning how to reprogram your mindset, because they say, like, at the age of 7, like, whatever we learned up until 7, those are some of the habits and things that we still have. So it's very hard to reprogram it. So explain to me just the process or some of the experiences that you've had with your clients that have struggled with just breaking free from those limitations of how we grew up in the Black community.
Specifically with clients, you always have to meet your clients where they are,
Yes.
of course. And then some people are going to be able to attach to some things faster than others. My whole set of like guidelines and rules and my practicality to this field is fundamental. Everybody learns fundamental. It's like kindergarten, first grade education, but about emotional intelligence, about self-intelligence, about self-discovery. If you follow those fundamental guidelines, whatever you compact on top of that is going to flow effortlessly. It's all about the fundamentals.
I think some of the hardest thing that I have with just finding the clients, and with just me discovering that I want to be a mindset coach as of this year, is helping people to see the vision of why it's needed. So can you talk a little bit about that, with just not even struggling with trying to find clients, but just, I guess I would say, just really narrowing down, okay, talking to a new customer, a new client, so this is why it's needed, and helping them be able to solve that problem, like, within themselves.
For the most part, my clients come to me for entrepreneurial reasons or creative reasons, and we find out later that, hey, it's some mindset stuff we need to fix out first.
Okay.
The biggest struggle with that is telling people what's wrong and then believing it.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm a coach, because I've been doing this for a few years or whatever, I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. You know you better than I know you. And when I see something that I think needs to be tweaked and you don't think it needs to be tweaked, then we start over.
Yep.
Every week.
Have to.
We start over. So that's the biggest challenge, is just repetitively doing the same thing until the client understands that this is why we're doing it. And again, it goes back to the fundamentals. I can constantly tell somebody to do something and tell them why, but if they don't understand why, it's not going to work.
Now let's talk about Self-Care Sundays.
Please and thanks.
Please and thanks. So when I think it was earlier this year, I was able to come and speak at Self-Care Sunday, which is the last Sunday every month of the month. So why don't you tell them a little bit about what Self-Care Sunday is and the benefits behind it within our community?
Okay. Self-Care Sunday, in a nutshell, is free monthly group therapy. That's like the basis of it. It's group therapy for free for the community. Anybody is involved, anybody is welcome, all ages, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point of it is because a lot of our inner city youth in the Black community, in the Hispanic community, in the underprivileged community, we don't have proper insurance to cover health care, as far as mental health care, as far as therapy, as far as counseling. The schools don't have proper counseling. So the basis of it is for the youth to learn from us. We've been through it. We've done it. We've done all of the stupid things that they tell you not to do.
Yep.
They're not going to learn from a YouTube video telling them why you don't do X, Y, and Z. They need to hear it from the people. Just like I had to hear it from my OGs, I got to tell the kids. That's the point. What it had turned into, however, is a hub for like individuals to get their mental health in order.
Okay.
It turned into a place where we can come and we can congregate as a community and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. And somebody can raise their hand like, hey, I am too. So let's break off into this group and let's focus on fixing that. And honestly, I'm blown away by what it became because I had no idea it would get this far.
So tell me how long have you been doing Self-Care Sundays?
2 years in February.
Okay.
So this upcoming February will be 2 full years.
Okay. So where did that idea stem from?
It came from me not having health insurance and needing a therapist.
Okay, see.
It came from me literally, so I've been in therapy since I was 11. It started off with anger management and it kind of went on from that.
Okay.
And I had a death in the family. My brother died and it was probably the closest thing I had to a father. Tore me up, broke me down, quit my job with my good insurance and couldn't get a therapist. So I was like, well, I got my friends.
Right.
So we started sitting in groups, 5, 6 people, and just started talking about real stuff. We didn't sugarcoat it. We didn't play with our emotions and try to be prideful and have ego. We just started talking. And that gave me the idea of like, hey, if we did this with the older generation, we can learn. If we did this to the younger generation, we can learn. And I just kind of went with it.
I think it's a key thing for us within the community to consistently and continually uncover our layers, uncover our traumas, because even sometimes when you have a group of friends, you all could be sitting there talking, but sometimes there are those couple of friends that just be like, yeah, well, you know, be strong, but they go through their own issues. Depression is a choice, but I see that a lot of people are going through their own, like even some of my friends, they'll tell me all the time that they are depressed, and I'd be like, so what are we doing about it today? Like, so what's the next step? So now what? And it's not for me to sound like that I don't care or that I'm being hard on them. It's just that we have to work through this. There has to be some type of plan. There has to be some type of action step. So have you seen people come to these events or admit that they have a problem with being able to either share to one other person or to just be able to share in a group space?
Of course. I have people that come to Self-Care Sunday and don't say a word.
Right.
Multiple times. They just come and they take it in. And I used to be that way. So I understand it. Like I said, we have to meet people where they are. I remember where I was. I remember I wasn't able to converse about my feelings. Like that was weak, you know? Like some people still think that. Some people still live like that. So when you start breaking down that programming of like, no, emotions doesn't equal weakness. Let's take them and use them for what they're for. You start to see a change, but it's definitely a lot of resistance. It's definitely a lot of people that's like, well, we came because we saw y'all did a twerk class last month.
Oh, Lord.
Or we came because we saw y'all do X, Y, and Z. Or we came because we saw so-and-so posted on the Instagram.
Right.
And then when they get there, they're like, oh, no, we didn't sign up for this. But they come back. As long as you come back, eventually you crack.
When doing events like this, because I know I do events like this, you do, and some other people in the community, we see that, I see that we all see it. Okay, cool. We there. We all see that there is a lack of attendance when it comes to events like this. So let me have a little transparent moment here with y'all. There are events out there, free events or events under $20 that our community does have, from whether it be mental health, working through traumas, whatever it is, and there is just a very low attendance within our community. But if somebody is having like a brunch with panelists, you know, and with speakers, network, yes, which are all great things in the community for us to support one another, from us to buy from one another, connect and enhance ourselves. However, with dealing with entrepreneurship, with dealing with family issues, your own personal issues, that comes with a lot of different mental health problems that we're not even aware of because we're always on the go. You know, this is normal. And a lot of traumatic experiences that we go through, we think that things like this they're normal, but they're not. So how are we able to come together and collaborate and consistently recruit people? I guess I wouldn't say recruit people, but bring people in to say, you know, hey, we've created a safe a safe place for you to, even just come and listen, or just to have an accountability partner, or to have someone, that you can call when you are just not feeling like yourself. How are we able to break that up to where we're seeing people like a line down the bills and, with people trying to get into stuff like this? Because it's way too many people in the Black community with them settling with being okay with being depressed. So how we work on that?
The simple answer to that question is I have no clue.
Same.
The complex answer to that question is what I'm actively doing. So I only attach myself to things that I feel strongly about. I only attach myself to things I know about, and I only attach myself to things that I have experience in. So if I'm in a room and only 4 people show up to, like, specifically a recovery event, because the recovery community is very strong, and they move as a unit. And I've learned that through the recovery coaching that I do, those people are gonna be the strongest team to follow you.
Okay.
When you get down to like mental coaching or mindset coaching or emotional intelligence coaching, sometimes even financial coaching, people get to a point where they think they're all right, and then they stop. So you give people enough and they don't think they need anymore, they're not gonna come back. But what happens is then they forget those fundamentals and they lose again and they have to start over. So I just attach myself to things that I know for a fact. I have experience in this. I'm not gonna tell you something I don't know.
Exactly.
And I just use my knowledge to keep people. Because that's usually what they need. Because we know networking. I love me a good sip and shop. I love me a good panel. But I've done it. I've been there. What's next? What's the next step?
What's the action step to work through this?
What's the next step? So a lot of the things that I've been involved in have been panel discussions, but I'm the type to translate everything to mental health. Self-Care Sunday is literally a different topic every month, but we translate everything to mental health. So as long as you can find your purpose in the niche that you're in, like I'll come to a sip and shop and host it, and I'll talk about how alcoholism is affecting the Black community in the middle of the wine tasting.
You be drinking the wine like...
I don't have no problem with it, because it's not like we're not here to judge you. We're not here to tell you to stop doing something. I just want to let you know. If you knew better, you would do better. I just want to let you know.
I agree. So tell people where they can follow you at. Of course, tell them again, just in case y'all missed that, how they can attend Self-Care Sundays, and really just put Self-Care Sunday on. Like, let them know what they can expect.
I can talk about my baby all day.
Yes, so go ahead, look into that camera and tell them where they can follow you and more about Self-Care Sunday.
Well, you can follow me personally at Lamaria Grace on all things on the internet, website, Twitter, and Instagram. The Self-Care Sunday page has an Instagram. It's self.care.sunday. You could DM or send comments. I'm usually the one responding. If you want like an incognito little conversation, I run the page. Self-Care Sunday is every month. It's the last Sunday of every month. This month being November, I believe we're not going to actually have a session. We're going to do some charitable donations.
Oh, yes. I got one for you.
Boom. But we will be back in December. And really, just if you need any type of sense of strength or community in your life, or if you're lacking self-discipline or self-control, or if you have self-doubt when you're at home thinking about sweet ideas that you're not putting out into the atmosphere, just come talk to us. It's free. Come talk to us. Come be in a room full of creatives. Come be in a room full of people that's moving and shaking in this community and in this city. Get your life together.
Get your life. Get your life together. Well, thank you, Lamaria.
Thank you.
I appreciate you just coming on my platform, being able
to be here.
I know.
I'm so happy.
I saw your affirmation, like, I am affirming. I'm like, girl, if you don't come on this show.
I needed this. I needed this.
So thank you for coming on the With Love show, being able to plug yourself. Make sure that you guys attend at least 5 Self-Care Sundays for 2020. That needs to be one of y'all goals. Work on it. Right. Or if you can attend all of them, because I need to start going back. I think I've only been to one. So
I'm thinking about missing February. I'm going on vacation. But everybody else will be there.
Crazy. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the With Love show. I am your host, of course, KristyLove. You can check out this episode on my YouTube channel at KristyLove Media, or you can go on my website and visit KristyLove.com, and I will see you guys next week for another episode.